First off, I'm proud to say that our product is 100% designed, developed, manufactured, made, and assembled in the United States of America. Even our packaging. This box cardstock and the ink on it is sourced right here in the United States of America. So for unboxing, the only thing you're going to need, a pair of scissors. When you open up the box, there's going to be a bag inside. The color of that bag will vary. Making sure all the parts are at the bottom, cutting the bag open. Inside, you're going to find the multifunctioning grip, the grip screw, and two additional back straps, a large back strap and a small back strap. The medium-sized back strap, which is the most popular, comes pre-installed. This particular model has the FDE insert color. Once your firearm has been properly cleared, no magazine in the mag well, no round in the chamber, we can go ahead and proceed. The only thing you're going to need for installation is typically a 3/16 inch hex drive. Some grips are installed with a flathead or a Phillips head screw, but the majority of the time 3/16. So if you flip the firearm upside down, as I'm showing here, by the way, this is a Geisley URG-I, 10.3 inch upper, Surefire 4-prong, Cloud Defense, Rain, and a SIG Romeo 8T. I get asked what gun I use the most, and this is my home defense rifle. I'm fortunate enough to have my FFL 0702, so yes, this is select fire. So 3/16 inch drive down inside the grip. You're going to remove that screw. So if you've ever replaced a grip before, or you're an AR armorer, you'll know that there's a spring and detent for the selector switch. Losing those can be a pain, especially if you have carpet in your home, and finding those can be nearly impossible. So just please take my advice, have the rifle upside down, and the chances of you losing those things will be greatly reduced. So once the grip is out, more than likely that spring is going to fall, which I just caught here. So we'll set that in front. So taking the MF'ing grip, or the multifunctioning grip, putting it into the ready to install position. So all you're going to do is hold the outside portion which has our Shield logo, take that inside portion which just has the FDE, and just push this piece that direction. You're going to expose the piece that we call the adapter. Some people start to play around with this, and one or two things will happen. One is they'll remove the shield by accident when it's off the rifle. Just line up those two rails with the inside rails of the shield, slide it back on. And what you're going to see is it's going to stop. That's going to stop because of this release button down here. So push that release button in and slide the shield all the way back, exposing that adapter again. So that spring that we just had for the selector switch, go ahead and insert that into the spring retaining hole. You're going to hold that spring as you rotate upside down. Align that spring with the hole in the lower receiver for the selector switch above that detent. Hold that in place. Please use the screw that we provide. This screw is a American-made screw, 3/4 inch long. Go ahead and screw that back into the lower receiver, and just hand tighten only. There's no need to over tighten this. Now the multifunctioning grip is installed on this rifle. This is referred to as fast access mode, or FA. In fast access, it makes the rifle easier to store in a vehicle or in a bag, especially with a 10-round magazine. This magazine is empty, but you can see once inserted, it's flush with our device, making it very easy to store. So in fast access, adjust the stock, rotate over. All you have to do is smack the back, and it locks into RTF, or ready to fire. In RTF, it acts as any other grip. So our device has a Shield logo on the outside. That portion needs to be pulled down, almost like you're stripping a magazine out of the rifle. Once you pull it down, it releases a locking mechanism and allows for it to rotate back. So from this position, you can take that same Shield logo and push it forward. That now completely covers the trigger area, and also it prevents the selector switch from rotating out of safe. So even though it rotates a small amount, it still keeps the safety engaged. Just keep in mind that only works with a mil-spec selector switch. If you have a short throw selector switch, it won't prevent that from occurring. So from the factory, it's going to come in the restricted access position. So restricted access, what that means is you can't just pull the shield back on its own. You have to manually press in this bottom button here. We refer to this as the release button. So that release button, once is lifted, it's now out of the way of the shield, which can be slid back. So that goes back into fast access, which then obviously goes into ready to fire. So a little bit of practice, this can be done fairly easily. So it's closed. What I typically do is use my middle finger as I'm coming up to push that release button in, use my index finger to pull the shield back, my thumb to push down and to ready to fire. It sounds like a lot, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. Some people don't like that release button. So if you're not a fan of it, what you can do is manually press that release button in. And what you'll see on the bottom, we have this sliding switch. So while holding the release button in, take that sliding switch, push it forward, and that now manually holds the release button out of the way. So from here, we refer to this as just as UC or undercover. The trigger is undercover and protected, but it just moves back and forth very easily. So this is obviously a little bit faster than RA mode. So those are your 4 modes with the multifunctioning grip. Ready to fire, fast access, UC or undercover, or holding that release button in again, sliding that switch down, puts it back into RA, restricted access. Keep in mind this is not a firearm safety device. This is just another discretionary tool that you can use. The 2 negative comments I hear most about the multifunctioning grip are 1, my finger is the only safety I need, and 2, this grip, even though it takes less than 1 second to activate, is still 1 second longer than any other grip. So the first scenario where your finger is the only safety you need, I agree 100% if you're at the range or you're at mid to long distance shooting. Once you start getting into close quarters with a rifle, you'll need way more than your finger if someone tries to take this from you. For example, if this is your home defense rifle and you have a home invasion, if they get the drop on you and you start getting into a physical confrontation, this can definitely save your life if you're trained properly. The second one is, yes, it does take less than 1 second to activate. However, you don't have to keep it in this position. So as I stated before, this is my home defense rifle, and I keep it in this position. Right? This is just another tool, and it's my discretion when I feel I need to engage it. There's been multiple times when I have engaged it, whether on duty, off duty, in my home. And there are also multiple times when I choose not to. The more experience you get with this, the more comfortable you'll be with it, and you'll start to understand the reasons behind it.